In the late 1960s, a handful of privileged college kids decided the only way to end American imperialism was to start bombing it. They called themselves the Weather Underground. The state called them the most dangerous domestic terrorists in America. Both sides were half right, and both were being played. Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we light the torch on revolutions that were never allowed to win. They didn't crawl out of the ghetto. They were the sons and daughters of lawyers, diplomats, and corporate executives. Daughter of privilege. Bill Ayers grew up in a Chicago suburb so white it hurt. Mark Rudd, Columbia University Student Council president. These weren't the wretched of the earth. They were the children who had seen the earth being made wretched on the evening news every single night. By 1969, 500,000 Americans were in Vietnam. My lie was still warm, and the Black Panther leadership was being shot in their beds by the FBI and local police. The old left marched with signs. The new left decided signs weren't enough. At the 1969 SDS convention in Chicago, they read a line from a Bob Dylan song. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. They took the name. They also took the next logical step. If the state was waging undeclared war on the Third World, the only moral response was to declare war back. Naive? Certainly. But naivety has always been the privilege of the recently radicalized. October 1969, the Days of Rage. A few hundred weathermen charged Chicago police lines with helmets, clubs, and absolutely no plan beyond making the pigs bleed. Result? 6 shot, 70 arrested, and the anti-war movement recoils in horror. 5 months later, March 6, 1970, 3 weathermen are literally building a nail bomb in a Greenwich Village townhouse when it detonates prematurely. The townhouse is obliterated. 2 survivors crawl out of the rubble naked and run. The dead were planning to use that bomb at a dance for non-commissioned officers at Fort Dix. That single accident saved the Weather Underground from becoming American Anders Breivik's. Instead, they went underground, declared war on property, and swore off killing people. The FBI, of course, was delighted. Dead college kids building anti-personnel bombs? The perfect recruitment poster for COINTELPRO expansion. From that day forward, every long hair with a backpack became a potential terrorist in the public imagination. Funny how the revolution always manages to deliver exactly the repression it claims to fight. Between 1970 and 1975, the Weather Underground took credit for roughly 25 bombings. The U.S. Capitol, the Pentagon, the State Department, ITT headquarters, Gulf Oil, Anaconda Corporation, Kennecott Copper, the offices of the California Attorney General. Damage, millions of dollars. Casualties, 0. They phoned warnings. They bombed after hours. They were meticulous, almost courteous terrorists. Their communiques read like graduate school manifestos. Today we attack the ITT Corporation because it is a headquarters for international fascism. The media printed every word, and every word further alienated them from the working class they claimed to represent. By 1971, Gallup polls showed 79% of Americans wanted them shot on sight. Mission accomplished from the state's point of view. Nothing discredits revolutionary politics faster than bombing a restroom in the name of the proletariat. While the weathermen were busy declaring that the man is never going to let us take over, the man was busy making sure they stayed useful bogeymen. The FBI's illegal COINTELPRO program sent forged letters accusing weather members of being informants, seduced girlfriends, planted drugs, and when that wasn't enough, simply murdered the Black Panthers, who were far more dangerous. The Panthers were organizing breakfast programs and community defense. The weathermen were blowing up toilets. Guess which group got the full J. Edgar Hoover treatment? By 1973, the anti-war movement was dead, Nixon was re-elected in a landslide, and the Weather Underground had become the perfect controlled opposition. Loud enough to scare middle America, small enough never to win. The revolution was televised and then canceled for low ratings. By 1977, the war was over, the draft was gone, and the Weather Underground was out of bombs and out of ideas. Most surrendered. Charges were dropped. The FBI's own crimes were far worse than anything the weathermen ever managed. Bernardine Dorn became a law professor. Bill Ayers wrote memoirs and befriended a young state senator named Barack Obama. Mark Rudd apologized. The state didn't. The moral? If you're going to declare war on the empire, you'd better be prepared to win it. Because the Empire is always prepared to absorb you, rehabilitate you, and turn your rebellion into another chapter in its own legitimacy narrative. Today, the Weather Underground is taught in universities as a cautionary tale. See what happens when you go too far. They never teach the real lesson. The Empire loves a spectacular loser. It can't stand a quiet winner. So remember the Weather Underground the next time someone tells you that meaningful change only comes through the ballot box, or that violence never solves anything. They tried both nonviolence and violence. Both failed for the same reason. The state writes the script, casts the villains, and always keeps the final cut. Real resistance isn't measured in explosions or voter turnout. It's measured in how thoroughly the system has to rewrite history to make you disappear. The Weathermen never disappeared. They were promoted to cautionary tale, awarded tenure, and given book deals. That's not survival. That's assimilation. And assimilation is the only revolution the Empire ever allows. If this one left scorch marks, hit subscribe and ring the bell. In the comments, controlled opposition or genuine threat? Which 1960s myth should we burn next? Until then, keep the powder dry and the torch lit. This is the Stateless Standard. Good night and good luck.